Another thing that is up in the news, and it's definitely up in the news on this day as you're getting back to work in the beginning of this week. By the time this is released, Coney Barrett will have been confirmed as a Supreme Court justice. Okay, they spent the entire weekend. I mean, I don't know if they spent the entire weekend, but they had special sessions over the weekend to make sure they can do all the things that they needed to do so they can actually have this vote. Now, tomorrow, well, on the day that this is going to be released on, next week will be November 3rd. Will be the day we need to go and actually vote. At least a lot of people will go out and vote. So if your state has started voting, please get out there and vote as soon as possible. Try to go in person. I've seen people, I saw a viral video of this lady, black lady, talking about what she had to take with her to go vote, man. She had snacks, she had drinks, she had an umbrella too, man. And that whole thing went viral. So I enjoyed seeing some lady from Texas. So that was enjoyable to see. But when I actually went out to vote, that's what I saw. That's what I saw. Older folks with chairs, snacks, drinks, umbrella. I seen it all, man. I seen it all when I went out there to vote. So make sure you get out there and vote. But in terms of that Senate vote, in terms of that legislative branch voting, they're going to vote her in. There's no question. They got the votes. At this point in time, before they take the vote, I only heard one Republican to say they wasn't with the program. You know, when you see Mitt Romney agree with it, when you see Senator Mitt Romney agree with anything that has to do with Trump, you know that the Republicans got it at that point. When he agrees with anything from Trump, you know that they got it at that point. So at this point in time, you know, Amy Barrett, Justice Barrett, soon to be, will be a Supreme Court justice. And now they will take that number from that 8 to that 9 so that they won't have any deadlocks whatsoever. So it's interesting. And what's going to be even more interesting is if Biden wins and he becomes President Biden, the big thing that's on the table right now, the big thing that Trump keeps bringing up is the Supreme Court number changing. They have a virtual lock in terms of the Supreme Court, in terms of conservative justices, plus in general the court across America being conservative with the 200 people that Trump had put in place over his time frame, his just 4 years in office. So he's had a tremendous impact in terms of what's going to happen in terms of America for the next decade or so. For the next decade. Not decade, I would say decades, right? Not decade, decades. So just know that these political things are happening. And we see them have a weekend session. When the first stimulus packages would come around, they wouldn't even get in session. They wouldn't even call a session. They wouldn't even do anything. And they're doing a lot of things virtually. They couldn't even do that stuff in order for them to approve the second stimulus package. Matter of fact, that second stimulus package still is not approved. And we get a justice that is going to be approved in less time than it's taken for them to deal with that. That definitely concerns me in reference to this whole thing. There was a couple of quotes that was thrown out that I want to just mention to you. This quote right here. The Senate is doing the right thing. We're moving this nomination forward, and colleagues, by tomorrow night, we will have a new member of the United States Supreme Court. This was Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. That's what he said this past Sunday. So literally, by the time this podcast is available, you will have a new Justice of the Supreme Court. No questions, no ifs, ands, or buts to it. There's no quivering in his voice whatsoever. And then you also hear from the other side. The Republican Party is willing to ignore the pandemic to rush the Supreme Court nomination forward. That was from Senator Leader Chuck Schumer. So you just see this battle happening back and forth. But as Americans, those are just politics. What I'm concerned about is I'm concerned about what's happening with people on the ground. And for you black folks, I want you to know that Amy Coney Barrett, she replaced a black lady. When there was a black lady, I forget her name, I'll get it for you next time. But she was actually put up to be at that Seventh Circuit. And what happened is Trump let that expire and put Amy Coney Barrett up, and then the rest is history. So just understand, it's been a tremendous impact in terms of you getting out the vote or not going out the vote. So make sure you get out there and get that vote in. But that's not what we're going to talk about this particular session. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and jump into what is really the topic. And I like to make sure you learn about this little story, a story where many of you probably have some relationships that go back that you may not even know of. And I'll let you enjoy that story right now. Thanks for visiting the shop. You know there's absolutely no me without you. But before you walk out that door, make sure you visit us at Endangered Species Unapologetically.com. You will find ways to stay connected with us. Take a look at our show notes, other episodes, bonus material, as well as that merchandise that you know Hustle Man got over there in the corner. When you're ready to break those chains, we got some stuff there for you to make your life better. However, as the old folks would say, be safe out there, young blood. See you next week. Hello, everyone. Welcome again. This is episode 9. In today's episode, we're talking about all Black Lives Matter. Now, why is this a topic? Because as a member of the African diaspora, I feel we are disconnected from the rest of the black folks on the planet. So the idea is that from an ideological standpoint, period, all Black Lives Matter. We need to reconnect to that and make that happen. But before we talk about any of that, we jump into the rest of our topics. I do want to talk about some new stuff because we have been doing that all throughout every single one of these actual episodes.